At this point, if you care about where the economy is going, you have to ask yourself three questions. How bad is the winter going to be? How strong the recovery is going to be in the second half? And how much scarring are we going to take? Namely, what is the long-term impact of the double dip recession of COVID? Let's start with the first question, how bad? It will be bad. We are in the midst of a double dip recession. The economy is now in the midst of shrinking by about 2%. So clearly we are in a recession already. We know that the winter is going to be very long. The number of cases will rise and the vaccine is still not there sufficiently. So I believe that the first quarter will be very, very difficult. And I think that the market is already pricing it in. We have seen it in the bond market already. The good news is that you can find some positives in the negative, in a sense that even this recession could have been much worse. We have to realize that we are not shutting down the economy completely the way we did in March or April. Also, we are much more productive at this point because we are used to live in this kind of situation. And e-commerce is more available for businesses, again, allowing them to do their work in a more efficient way. So overall, yes, it's going to be negative. It could have been much worse. The good news is that the recovery will be stronger than currently the market is anticipating. I believe that this recovery in the second half of the year, starting in the spring, will be in the neighborhood of 5, 6, 7% GDP growth, up from -2. So it will be very significant. Why? Because we are ready for this. We have a situation in which individuals, households today in Canada are sitting on no less than $100 billion of extra money, excess cash, excess saving, looking for direction. There is so much pent-up demand in the system. There is money. Income actually went up dramatically while spending went down. Most of this money is held by wealthy individuals and they want to spend. And the minute they have the green light to spend, they will spend that money. And this money will be spent where? Not on goods, but on services. Exactly where you need the money to go, exactly where we need the jobs to go. Namely, the multiplier impact of this spending will be very significant. Most of it will stay at home and it will go exactly where it should be going, namely the service sector, generating employment where we need to see employment. So the short answer, the winter will be tough. The recovery in the second half of the year will be stronger than expected. We are in a position to take advantage of this kind of situation. The money is there, the ability is there, consumer confidence is there, the income is there. We just need the green light to spend, and this money will be spent in a very significant way. The third question, the long-term implications. Namely, the question is to what extent COVID-19 is an event or a condition. And I believe that in many ways it is an event, in a sense that after 2008, it took the economy many years to recover with major structural changes because we lost capacity, we lost employment, and it was very long and tough process to recover. This time, I think it is very different. We have to remember that this is a very abnormal situation in which the vast majority of people are not feeling financially the impact of the crisis. Most of the jobs lost were in low-wage occupations. So you have a very asymmetrical damage here, which means that many people will be able to recover very, very fast. Also, it's mostly services, and it is much easier to start a new restaurant than establish a new manufacturing facility. So the recovery would be faster. And for people who are feeling the pain, the government is there, which is another positive. The Canadian government is spending much more than any other country in terms of support. And that's why the savings rate in Canada is rising, and that's why income is rising, and that will buy us some time until we are ready for the recovery. So bottom line, the recovery will be long-lasting, and it will not be as bad as we have seen in 2008, because the very specific nature of this crisis means that the recovery will be long-lasting. When it comes to investment, clearly the near term is not positive for valuations, but I believe that the market is already pricing it in. That's one of the reasons why technology is still doing relatively okay, while the victims of COVID are not doing so well. That will continue to be the case during the winter. However, I think it's time to start thinking about taking positions in the laggards, in those industries that are not doing so well now, because I believe that the minute we turn a corner, especially in the second half of the year, you will see transportation, aviation, hospitality, restaurants, retail doing better than expected. So the laggards will become the winners. I think we have to start thinking and take opportunities here in terms of valuations, because now the market is starting to focus only on the near term, while the medium term will be much, much better than expected.